we are getting the impacts from the remnants of what was at one point a hurricane off the Baja coastline. Priscilla now releasing a lot of moisture our direction, and we're seeing, yes, those big, fat, juicy raindrops. But even in this viewer photos, this viewer video, you can see it's really going to be pocketed until this evening. That's when we're going to start seeing some widespread shower activity, because even though we're seeing rain right here in this video, this is such a perfect desert rainstorm, right? You can still see some blue skies and some clearing. So across the state, well, temperatures, obviously, they are coming down. Take a look. We've got highs in the low 90s overhead. We've got 87 today in Quartzsite, 90 in Havasu, 65 at the Grand Canyon, 72 in Show Low, and 94 today in Tucson. But widespread, not just rain showers, widespread thunderstorm activity expected today, tomorrow, into Sunday. As a result, you can see we have weather impact alerts through the weekend for the Valley of the Sun, because it is not going to be sunny. Now, temperature-wise, you can see we continue to come down as far as our daytime highs, and the prime time for some showers will be, the heaviest rainfall, I should say, will be tonight into tomorrow for the metro. As a result, we do have a flash flood watch. It is now in effect for Phoenix. All the areas you see here in green for today and tomorrow. That means these storms, they're capable of producing heavy localized downpours that could be leading to some flooding. I mean, we saw this just about 2 weeks ago, and this is the same kind of setup. We have that area of low pressure off the coastline. It's a very slow low moving across the state. It's drawing up all that tropical moisture and raining down literally. So in the early morning hours, we are getting some shower activity, and you can see these are the wind vectors right there. So this is basically where the moisture is going to be pushing in and out. Now, we get a little bit of a break mid-morning, I'd say. Then the storms will start developing once again after about 3 to 4:30 this evening, starting to really ramp up overnight. We've got some pretty healthy cells developing in the early morning hours. That should stick with us through Saturday morning for the metro and the higher elevations. And then, as you can see, it starts to push away, but we're going to get another leg rolling on in by Saturday late evening into Sunday morning. So when all is said and done through the weekend, rainfall projections look like this. And I mean, we see some reds on here, which means up to 4 inches of rain. Now for the valley, let's really zero in for Phoenix so you can see what we need to be ready for. And understand, it's been all over the place. Every single day, these rainfall totals get updated, or at least the projections get updated based on where this system is moving. Right now, Phoenix, we need to be ready for up to an inch of rain, but still some of our local mountains could be seeing 3 inches of rain, which is going to be very dangerous. Now again, today 60% chance of rain, 80% by tomorrow, and then we start to taper off into Sunday and Monday. For high country, it is raining today, it is raining tomorrow, and then it starts to dry out as we get into the early part of next week. And for the White Mountains, very similar for the metro, we've got healthy rainfall chances through about Sunday. Again, temperature wise, we are definitely coming down. I mean, look at some of these numbers. Typical for us this time of the year is actually 92 degrees. So on a temperature scale, we're normal. But after all, we've got a lot of tropical moisture in the arena. So take a look. We do see rain in the works, healthy rainfall through Sunday, but it's going to kind of linger early part of next week. Temperature wise, it's going to stay on the mild side for you and me. That means 90s today, but 80s all next week.
So yeah, the main weather story across the state of Colorado today has been that moisture from the remains of Hurricane Priscilla. You can see all the moisture going across the state, mainly down towards the southwestern portions of the state, the San Juans in particular. And we're going to see lots of rain from that. How much? Well, very close to 2.5 inches. Now, some of the modeling has started to go down just a little bit as in rainfall. Durango earlier on this morning had about 2.5 inches. Now a little bit under 2 inches there, as well as over towards Pagosa Springs. But there's going to be some good news and bad news. The bad news, of course, if you have any plans in the high country, you might want to reschedule it because it will be wet definitely out there. But here's the good news. Here's the current drought monitor. Noticing still in the drought mainly for the western slope. We're going to see a different look at this graphic next week. That rain will definitely help us in some of those places. Could even be drought busting in some localized areas, and even a drought denter as well.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Evan Narani in sunny San Diego. I say that with a little bit of a surprise following a bout of wet weather that we saw last night into early this morning. It was the remnants of what was once Hurricane Priscilla, now a post-tropical cyclone, making its way parallel along the coast of the Baja Peninsula. And as it pushed farther north, encountered that cooler ocean water, it started to break apart. So unsurprisingly, we got the very weak outer bands of this storm. Mount Laguna picked up on 1/10 of an inch. Same with Ocotillo Wells. Unsurprisingly, our mountains and deserts were disproportionately affected by this wet weather, whereas our coastal communities and inland valleys picked up on just a few hundredths of an inch. It was the most we could ask for. We ideally will pick up on more wet weather going into the next several months. We're about to enter our more wet season, but right now it seems like we're about to enter a pretty solid stretch of dry weather through at least about Monday of next week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a big question mark over next week because of the chance for another round of wet weather. That storm will be a bit different. It'll be coming from the north of us, but I want to walk you through what we've got for the rest of the day because the question on hand has been, do I need a plan for the jacket over the course of Friday, Saturday, Sunday? The answer is no, unless you're over our local mountains. Those are going to be the only spots to catch much of the remaining wet weather. 74 by 1 p.m. along the coast. We will factor in a fair amount of cloud development over the day. You can see those clouds just kind of filtering on through. And sure, some pop-up showers possible over the course of the afternoon stretch, but after that, toward the evening, seems like we're going to dry out. Most of that wet weather will reside pretty far out to the east and south of us. That's where the bulk of more moderate to heavy rain will be located and will be largely left out. Now, I want to make sure to mention, by all means, we're not saying it will be completely dry, but we're saying our chance for rain is down to about 20%, so quite low. And as far as planning the day goes, be prepared for a few pop-up showers, but our chances are slim for seeing much in terms of accumulations. High temperatures, 70s and 80s. The storm is coming from the south, right? It's pulling that warm air from the equator with it, so our temperatures are actually their warmest compared to the entirety of the week and even compared to the next 7 days, especially because that next storm will come from the opposite direction. From the north of us, it'll be pulling cool air with it. And in turn, those temperatures will slide into the beginning of next week. We're back in the upper 60s. Pleasant weekend out there, Saturday and Sunday with 72 degrees as that afternoon high out along the coastline. Inland valleys are going to be seeing a bit of a different forecast. We're warmer today, up to 80 degrees towards some of those inland valleys. And then look at that 12-degree drop in temperatures through the middle of next week. Still looking at Tuesday and Wednesday as our day for some scattered showers. Similar to the storm that is wrapping up as we speak. This next storm going into next week has a lot of question marks. Very low confidence, we would say, around the forecast. What that means for us is that we are very likely to see cooler temperatures, cloudier skies, some wind, but the rain is going to be the part of the forecast that is going to be questionable. So factor in all the other considerations, the cooler temperatures, about a 20-degree drop in temperatures toward the mountains from 84 this afternoon down to 62, 22 degrees of change. Factor in the cloud cover around that window, factor in wind speeds picking up, but if you join us next week, Monday or so, we'll have a much better picture of how the rest of the week is shaping up and if that rain will really come to fruition. Deserts are looking warm today and tomorrow, 91, 92, and then cooling down to the 70s as we get into the middle of next week. Also want to give a mention to those overnight lows. I mean, look at that overnight low from tonight into tomorrow, 54 degrees. And then look at our overnight lows going into, say, Wednesday night, 41. A nice drop in those overnight lows, getting cooler. Open up those windows, let in some of that cooler air at night. Have a good one.